Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about Officer Tippit and the JFK assassination. Now, a lot of people, when they do research and stuff like that, especially when it comes to the JFK assassination, they'll talk about Officer Tippit just a little bit, okay? But what I want to do is I want to give you more information and stuff like that into his killing, and I want to also point out some facts as well. Now, as you see behind me, I've got a few images up there, and I got some, statements from the files. Now, this is Officer Tippit. Okay, this is actually a mugshot, but Officer Tippit was in the police force for 11 years, and new stories are coming out now, and some old stories as well, that people's claiming that Officer Tippit was one of the assassins in the JFK assassination, which is really bogus. It's a bunch of lies. But people still want to push out these false information, as false statements and stuff. But what I want to point out here is everybody who sits there and talks about Oswald being a patsy when it comes to JFK assassination. But they're never bringing out the fact that, well, even though if the JFK assassination, he's a patsy, but he still committed murder that day by killing Officer Tippit. Now, a lot of people, some researchers even push out there, oh, he didn't shoot Officer Tippit, when there's a fact he did shoot Officer Tippit. Okay, because the revolver that he had on him that day when he was picked up, okay, was the same revolver that shot Officer Tippit. Plus another few things I want to point out as well, just like right here. There are signed statements, okay, by people that seen the incident, seen Oswald during that incident, and they went to the lineup, and there was a four-man lineup, and Oswald was number two in the four-man lineup, and Oswald was picked out as man number two, as the one they seen that has killed Officer Tippit. Okay, these are documents after documents, sworn statements and stuff by eyewitnesses claiming they seen Oswald there. Oswald is the one that shot Officer Tippit. The same revolver that was used that shot Officer Tippit was also the revolver that they took off of Oswald the day he picked him up. Just like when it came to that part of the investigation, when they actually sent out warrants for Oswald's arrest, was over Officer Tippit. It wasn't later on that they start following Oswald with the JFK assassination because of the pure fact the revolver, when they traced it back, it was registered to A. Heidel. And then they know the rifle that they found in the sixth floor Tech School Book Depository was registered under A. Heidel. And then Oswald had ID on him that said A. Heidel on it as well. This is why they started saying, well, now Oswald's part of the JFK assassination, because originally Oswald was picked up for killing Officer Tippit. Okay, that's what the original charges were on Oswald, was for shooting Officer Tippit and killing him. It wasn't later until after they found a revolver on him that was registered A. Heidel. He had ID on him with A. Heidel, and then find out he worked on a Texas School Book Depository, and he was the one missing. And then, how the rifle, the Clark County rifle they found there was not registered under A. Heidel. So that's when they pieced it all together, and that's when they brought charges upon him for the assassination of JFK. Okay, just like another thing I want to point out as well is they're going to put out claims that Officer Tippit was the man that can be seen in the Nix film, okay, which he's firing a shot right here, okay, which they claim he's firing a shot from over here, because supposedly, if you watch my cursor, this is the gunman, and that's either, that has to be Officer Tippit. And then they have this guy standing here where it looks like he's posing with a rifle in his hand and stuff, because this is right here, this image here, is not from the Orville Nix film. I'll let you know that now. It's not from the Orville Nix film. This was an image that someone put together and made up of a man aiming a rifle and everything else, okay? In the JFK assassination, so they pull off this claim that a gunman can be seen in the Orville Nix film back here, okay, as you see right here where my cursor is. They say this gunman is right here, and this is the gunman. They blowed it up and they said, here, we see the gunman here, which was bogus and this false information. This is not a real gunman. This is a fake gunman that someone put, when they did a blow up, they had another guy took aim and everything else with the rifle stuff. so they could say this is from the Orville Nix film, which it's not. This is a fake image here. Okay, but they're going to say that's Officer Tippit. Now, another thing I want to point out as well when it comes to JFK assassination, okay, which I want to pull this up real quick. Here is that guy they claimed was shooting actually was a shadow on the wall right here of the Pelagora, the shelter right here. That's actually a shadow, okay? So it really wasn't a gunman whatsoever. It was just the sun reflecting through the trees, and the shadows on the wall made it look, the outline look like a gunman there, but it wasn't, okay? But back to what I was saying. As everybody knows, we see Oswald here, okay, right here, with his coat on or jacket on. I want to say jacket, okay, with his jacket on, okay. They said, well, no, this is Oswald at the doorway. They want to push that issue of Oswald being in the doorway because of this jacket, which I point out in my research. And if you watch my other videos, and if you read my book, you will see that Oswald didn't have this jacket on when he was at work. This jacket here, he placed on when he went back to his boarding house, in his boarding room. That's where he went and put this jacket on. He didn't have this on when he was at the Texas School Book Depository. And that's why when I point out right here, this guy right here, when we look at this image, Allgen's image number 6, they're going to say this is Oswald. That's not Oswald. That is actually Bill Lovelady. But they said, look at the jacket on here and everything else. This jacket on here is really actually a reddish. It's red, black, and kind of white color jacket. Okay, checkered. Okay, Oswald didn't have even this kind of jacket on when he was at Texas School Book Depository, which we can also find out in statements as well, just like the statement right here. Okay, this was the notary public was Patsy Collins. Okay, the person's James Durrell Jarman Jr. This is his statement here. Okay, he's claimed he's seen, he's talking about Oswald and all of them being on the 6th floor, and then, they're all going downstairs, except for Oswald. He didn't see Oswald or anything else. And he also claims that, I think it was this one here, or was it this one here? He also claims that he didn't see Oswald after the assassination, nothing else like that. Just like right here, here's another document, a notarized document by Patsy Collins. And this is from Mrs. R.A. Reed. Okay, she claims she's seen Oswald on the 2nd floor. Okay, outside of her office and stuff. And what she states in here is, let me go right here. Let's see. Okay, when I saw him, he was dressed in a white t-shirt. Okay, white t-shirt, people. White t-shirt. No jacket or nothing. She just said white t-shirt. And I don't recall what his trousers was like. Okay, so she ain't gonna say, it's like he had blue jeans on, or did he have brown trousers on, or anything else. But she did state that he only had his white t-shirt on, and that was it. Okay, and this is by Mrs. R.A. Reed. Okay, like I said, people want to pull out this and pull out this testimony, that testimony, take a little bit out here and there, a little bit out here and there, but they're not giving you the full view of it, or even talk about, or even give you this kind of information. That's why I said when it comes to Officer Tippit, okay, Oswald did shoot and kill Officer Tippit, because these are only 3 of dozens of statements where they claim they seen Oswald there. Some people claim they seen Oswald run from there. They gave the description. They all put him in a lineup, and every lineup that he was in, he was number 2 man, and everybody pointed he was the number 2 man was the man they saw running down 10th Street, the man they saw shoot Officer Tippit, the man they saw running this way with a revolver in his hand. All of them pointed out that it was man number 2. Man number 2, when it was doing the lineup, was Lee Harvey Oswald. Okay, they're not going to give you this information. They're going to sit there and try to tell you that Oswald's a patsy. But when you look at this, still, Oswald killed Officer Tippit. So where is he a patsy at? Okay, Officer Tippit now has been shot by Oswald with his handheld revolver, and there was gun residue. People could say, oh no, there wasn't, and everything else. There was gun residue they found on Oswald's hand from firing that revolver. Okay, when he was picked up at the theater there, what did he do? He pulled out the revolver and was trying to shoot a police officer that was retaining him. Okay, people thinks Oswald was a patsy and stuff, but he killed Officer Tippit. This is what the charges. This is the reason why they brought him in to begin with, because they got him down as shooting Officer Tippit. It was not until later when they start putting things together, when they found out the revolver was registered at Hay Hidell, the Carcano A Hidell, Oswald having an ID, a fake ID on him with A Hidell on it. Okay, and then Oswald working in the sixth floor, working at the Texas School Book Depository. That's when the charges were brought upon him for assassinating JFK. But before that, it was Officer Tippit. So where was Oswald a patsy at? He was not a patsy when it came to shooting Officer Tippit. They have eyewitness accounts of seeing him there and seeing him running from that scene, seeing a revolver in his hand. The bullets that they found there, the bullet casings, there was one statement where a guy said he seen Oswald take out the bullet casings and replaced them and then took off running with the revolver, which came from that revolving gun because they matched up. And he also stated it was number 2 man that he said, and that was actually Oswald again. Okay, so there's a lot of statements. There's piles and piles of statements. They're going to sit there and just show you stuff from the JFK assassination, but they're really not going to give you too much information or even talk about Officer Tippit. Officer Tippit was in the force for 11 years. Okay, now they want to put him in as part of the assassination, but it was actually 2 different cases. Officer Tippit was another case, a murder case, even though it occurred on the same day, and it was also occurred by the same guy that was around the assassination of JFK. But Oswald's first charges was shooting Officer Tippit. And it's a shame that his family had to suffer like that, losing their father and stuff because he was doing his job, because he was looking around for a man that fit the description that they was looking for, that they were about the assassination of JFK, and he was doing his job and his duty to do that. And then turn around, they're going to sit there and Oswald shoots Officer Tippit, and then now we got people today going around saying, oh, Oswald's a patsy, when he wasn't a patsy, point blank period, because he did shoot Officer Tippit. But then we have people throwing this officer's name into the assassination, saying he was a gunman behind a picket fence, or he was a gunman beside the wall there of the shelter number 3 and stuff like that, just to point out their facts, just to say this, to say that, to tell new story and false stories and stuff. Okay, I don't believe in that. Okay, they should give people respect. They should leave well enough alone and let people rest. Okay, just like Officer Tippit. Okay, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was trying to do his job. He was killed in the line of duty, which he was. Oswald shot and killed him. Okay, so Oswald is not a patsy. No matter which way you look at it, Oswald's not a patsy. No matter which way you look at it, Oswald had a part of assassination right along with killing Officer Tippit. Because if he can kill Officer Tippit without even thinking about it, why wouldn't he take shots at JFK without thinking about it? Do you see what I'm saying? I want to make this video here, talk a little bit about Officer Tippit, give a little bit of this information out, okay, because there's a lot of information that these researchers don't give out, okay? But I do. I think it's wrong for people to try to sit there and say that Officer Tippit was part of JFK assassination, which his murder case is different than JFK assassination. Okay. Plus, I want to give more information out of people, as you see testimonies and stuff, where they said the man they seen at the scene of the crime shooting Officer Tippit, running from there, and everything else was man number 2. Man number 2 at the time was Lee Harvey Oswald. Okay, so they all pinpoint Oswald as being the assassin of Officer Tippit. So no matter which way you look at, whether it's a JFK assassination or the murder case for Officer Tippit, Oswald did in fact kill someone that day, and he killed Officer Tippit. Okay, there is a lot of information there, but people was only going to give you partial. I will give you the whole story. Okay, I believe in everybody should know the truth. Everybody should know the whole facts about the case and not just parts of it. And right now, like I said, when I was going over this case, everybody asked me about Officer Tippit. I looked into it, some of it, and I didn't fully look into it, most of it. I looked into a lot of it now at that time, but this time I looked into a lot of it. There's statements stating that Oswald was the man that shot Officer Tippit. Okay, he was killed in line of fire. This is a different murder case than the JFK assassination, even though they try to put them together. But I think it's wrong and unfairly of researchers, even conspiracy researchers and conspiracy people, placing Officer Tippit as one of the assassins of the JFK assassination when he had nothing to do with the assassination of JFK. He was doing his job, looking for somebody that they said to look out for, and he did. He seen Oswald, fit the descriptions. He stopped him. Oswald pulls out his revolver and shoots him dead right there in the street. And then Oswald's running away, and you got eyewitness accounts, place him there at the scene, shooting Officer Tippit, emptying his bullets there, and everything else. Okay, all of this is facts. But people's going to still sit there and hold up for Oswald, saying he is a patsy. He ain't doing no wrong. He is innocent. What's he innocent of? Think about that one. He shot Officer Tippit. So where is he a patsy at? I want to make this video here. I don't want to make it too long and stuff like that, because I like to give people respect, especially JD Tippit. You know, he was a man. He was doing his duty, and he was killed in a line of fire that day by Oswald. By doing his duty, he was actually killed as well. And they shouldn't place the Tippit murder case in with the JFK assassination, even though they happened on the same day, and happened that Oswald was in both of them. Okay, but the point of fact of it is, he gave his Officer Tippit gave his life, okay, to try to help put a criminal behind bars for what they've done, and he took the worst of it, and his family took the worst of it, because he was assassinated as well. He was shot and killed that day, I should say, and his family had to suffer all these years without having their father and their husband and everything else with them. Okay, I don't think it's fair how people should act when it comes to JFK assassination, and stop putting Officer Tippit, Officer Tippit into this case of the JFK assassination, because it really is two different cases. Okay, so I want to give a little bit more information out and tell people, you know, the real truth and the real facts when it comes to Officer Tippit. He was not one of the assassins, even though they're trying to put him out, but he's not one of the assassins. He was killed, and a lot, you know, in duty, doing his duty, he was killed because he was pulled Oswald over just to see, you know, just to check him out is all he was trying to do. And then Oswald ended up killing him. Okay. Plus, if Oswald was, you know, didn't have no thought about killing that officer, then he wouldn't have one bit of thought about killing JFK. Okay. So there's a lot of things you have to look at when it comes to cases like this. All right. I just want to make this video here to let everybody know a little bit more and give us more information. Officer Tippit was not part of the JFK assassination. This is a different case. Oswald was in fact in both cases, and he did kill Officer Tippit. Thank you, and don't forget to tell your friends about us. Don't forget the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. You know, share this video with your other friends and families and relatives on social media and stuff, so they get to know this information as well. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.